click start as well, if I can find it.
I think we're live on my end, so you can like
We are live.
intro and all that stuff if you want.
So let's take a quick look. Bit of latency on YouTube. Let's just see if there's anybody out there. Hello, can somebody leave a comment if you are there? Can you hear me? There we go. I am live. So guys, well, today I'm joined by Richard Hart to talk about Bitcoin HEX and all and sundry, really. How's it going, Richard?
Doing pretty good, man. First surprise, I have 3 interviews, and then it turns out I have 4. So here's 4.
Blame the British guy. So, yeah, no, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you must have a shitload going on as, it's like, what, 4 weeks till the launch of Bitcoin HEX?
It's probably 6 or more. But so we
Okay.
added support for these 3 addresses, which probably doesn't actually take 2 weeks, but it's a good cover and excuse for the other lateness we have anyway. So it's good optics. We have a good excuse to be a couple
under promise,
weeks
over
late.
deliver, as they say.
Welcome to software, man. You can't, it's not deterministic. You can't know how long something's going to take until you get closer to it. So.
Cool. So, just for the sake of my audience here, just can you just explain how you got into the Bitcoin space? How long you been in the space? You've been in,
Sure.
You've been around. I mean, I noticed you were around about 2017, but pre that, where did you come from?
So I retired in 2003 and basically started traveling the world. And when you don't have anything to do on your travels, you just read Reddit, or at least I did back then. So back then, Reddit homepage was very technical, very nerdy. It's since become dumbed down, as all social networks do over time. And someone had posted about this Bitcoin thing when it was under $1. And then they posted about it when it was at $1, and somebody sold their house to buy a bunch, I think like 270 grand or something. And then, I thought, whatever, it's stupid. And then finally, I saw the Wired article where they actually had a use case on the darknet. I'm like, oh, this is actually going to work. So I got in mining early 2011, first quarter, and then bought in, at 30, and then watched it drop to 1, held. I've held through a lot of bubbles. So.
Wow.
So I used to mine full blocks on my GPU. I was one of the first GPU miners. Back when you had to go on the IRC channel to learn about it.
So was it quite a small operation that you had then? Were you just like mining it from almost like a hobby?
I had like 6 servers with 6750s or 6950s. So like my first video card was a 5870 or 5970, which was like 2 GPUs on one card, because I just played a lot of games. I like wasted 10 years of my life playing games. So, if you have a strong video card and there's video card mining, you get addicted to it, and it's just like lifting weights. You want a bigger number, you want a bigger hash rate. So you start overclocking and swapping out the BIOS and making everything as cold as you can, and then I just built a small server farm to do it, but it wasn't anything too big. Maybe
easier to buy than to mine, sort of thing.
18 video cards, maybe.
So, I mean, from your description that you put out on YouTube and across your social media channels, you say obviously the thought leader thing, but then you throw in billionaire. Was that something you achieved?
I'm not a USD billionaire. I'm a billionaire in probably cells and molecules and some various cryptos, but in a USD billionaire, no. It's a very very
like Zimbabwe dollar, maybe.
In order to be a billionaire, you need $1,000 million. That's a lot of millions. It takes a while.
They say it's easy after the first one, but I'm not really finding that.
I don't know, dude. I retired in 2003, and then basically came out to defend my Bitcoin investment when Ethereum was overtaking the market cap, and did. Like, Ethereum did overtake Bitcoin's market cap if you look at future supply amounts. It didn't overtake it in like current circulating supply, and I thought, oh well, that ain't right. So I came out publicly and started defending Bitcoin when no one else would, which is so weird. I mean, where are all the other defenders of Bitcoin? It's like me, Andreas Antonopoulos, Trace Mayer, Roger Ver hates Bitcoin now. So like, there's 3 of us? It's weird. There should be more,
Yeah, so you've gone on record a few times. Not the biggest fan of Ethereum. I've heard you
Kind
say,
of.
but now we've got a Bitcoin Hex being launched. Is it just initially as an ERC20, or is
No,
that?
it's a full ERC20. So you can, if you're smart and you're creative, you can frame something positively and negatively, even though the thing itself is no different, right? So I have an essay I wrote about why Ethereum is so crappy, and I leave it up because it's all true. You just use the parts that aren't crappy, right? So, for instance, Bitcoin's had two inflation bugs. One that was executed, where billions of coins were made and had to be forked out, and one that was caught by a Bitcoin Cash developer. Okay, Ethereum hasn't had either of those, right? So, for as far as inflation bugs are concerned, which is where free money gets printed out of nowhere to people that don't deserve it, Ethereum's winning that game, right? Now, as far as developers using Ethereum, hanging themselves with the Turing complete rope of being able to do all types of screw ups because they have more options available to them, that extra power loses hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So the parity multi-sig hack lost a lot of money. The DAO reentrancy attack lost a lot of money. You know, there's hundreds of millions of dollars that have been lost, not because of Ethereum itself, but because it's so powerful that you can fuck up a lot of different ways. So I could frame that negatively in that look at all the hundred millions of dollars are lost, or I could frame it positively in that, hey, look at all the ways we found that this isn't supposed to be done. I don't have to go beta test that on a new network and be the first guy to lose money. It's already figured out now, right? And there's already audited contracts. So like our smart contract, our ERC20 base contract has already been externally audited. The Bitcoin software hasn't been externally audited. Ethereum has a bug bounty program. Bitcoin doesn't have a bug bounty program, right? So depending on what parts I want to look at, I could frame it positively or negatively. I'm only using the parts that I'm happy with. It's the most secure network to launch a token on. If you try and do a smaller hash rate, like proof of work change, easily attacked. Just like Bitcoin Gold got attacked, just like Ethereum Classic got attacked. So if your only option is to be attacked and be weak on your own chain, or to be strong on the second strongest chain behind Bitcoin that will work with you, right, and has auditing and has like the ability to do things in it, Ethereum's the best choice by far. So two other billion-dollar projects launched as ERC20s, EOS and TRX, are both. EOS is a multi-billion, like it. So they sold $4 billion of Ethereum in their crowd sale to make the EOS token, which they did as an ERC20, and then airdropped the new EOS network to those ERC20 holders. So I'm completely happy with the choice. There's no better option.
Yeah, you mentioned TRX there. Actually, I mean, I'm keen to see why they chose for one of their first ICOs to not use the same functionality that we've got with ERC20s, and instead opt for a centralized entity to run their ICO. It's almost like they kind of took the Ethereum smart, all the code, and went, you know what, this is great, it works great. We're going to call it a what is it, a TRC10 or some shit,
Right.
and they can't seem to run a decentralized.
Decentralization is only a tool.
Thing on it.
Decentralization is only a tool to censorship resistance. If no one is attempting to censor you, you don't actually need it. So it only fails. It's like locking your door. Locking your door is only necessary if people are trying to get in, or know the state of your door, and it attracts more attackers, right? So there's tons of networks that aren't secure. Like, is EOS secure? They can take your money whenever they want. They just vote to take your money. Is that crypto? Is crypto where some guys vote to take your money? It's not for me. That's the opposite of what crypto is, right? So I don't like XRP with their freeze funds function. I don't like EOS with their just take your funds. But that's not crypto.
But that being said, I mean, you've just said yourself, a bunch of people voting to take your money. I mean, obviously, we've got the situation with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. They voted, let's fork the chain prior to the hack. Is that not kind of the same thing? Or do you
Things
see that?
change. Yeah, they could fork the network then, but they can't do it now. Like, if they could do it now, Polkadot would get its 150 million back from being locked in a multi-sig contract that had the owner like destroyed or whatever. I don't remember the exact way that multi-sig failed. I think it's that the owner was set to something that can't be recovered. Like, they told it to stop working basically. So the command wasn't, the command tell the contract to do things wasn't locked to the person that started it, and other people could call it that shouldn't have been able to. So someone just told the contract to kill itself, and then all the funds got locked, right? In the Polkadot thing. So if you could roll back Ethereum for $150 million to people that are in with the consensus guys, they would have already done it for them, like now, and they can't. So the state of the network has changed. You just can't do the same things now that you could have done then.
So you're obviously, like you say, you've got parts of Ethereum that you love. Clearly.
Yeah, if you can launch a couple $1 billion projects off of an ERC20, that's good enough for me, man. Like, that's a good start. If it screws up, I'll airdrop to another network.
What's your view on Bitcoin Cash, for example?
It's a failed project. It used to be half the value of Bitcoin, and now it's 3.5% the value of Bitcoin. You don't even hear about it anymore. It's, that project was doomed to fail when I first told Roger over live stream that it would, and I was right, and he was wrong. And he lost millions and millions and millions of dollars by not taking my advice, as so many have. So, we don't have to hear as much from him anymore because he blew his reputation and still demonizes real Bitcoin every day and still tries to pass off a fake as the real thing every day. And, people think open source is great. I got to tell you, open source isn't great when no one can defend your brand against dilution, right? So some people say that if you have Bitcoin in your name and you're not Bitcoin, you're a scam. Those people are fucking idiots, right? It's very useful for people to know what the origin of a software is. And it's very normal in Bitcoin and forks of any type of software to name the thing, original thing, and another word, right? Like Mint Linux, Red Hat Linux, Fedora Linux. Were they all scams? No, they're all Linux. And they're Linux because they have it in their name, right? So Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, right? They're all forks of Bitcoin. You understand that they just changed a couple parameters, right? It's useful to have that information. And it hurts their marketing. It's harder to become more valuable than Bitcoin when one of you has a shorter name, one of you a longer name, right? So like Bitcoin HEX, it's the least like other forks because there's no Bitcoin code, none. We're just forking the UTXO set. We're just taking the balances and letting people claim them, right? But the actual code, nothing in common at all. And I'm happy to get rid of the name Bitcoin HEX as soon as I find a good other HEX domain that we can rotate to, because I plan on being worth more than Bitcoin. I don't think 4 million users, 4.3 million users that have over $100 in their own Bitcoin wallet is impressive. I think it's dog shit. If you are a startup in the year 2019 and you only have 4 million users, you are a loser. You are not going to be acquired for any large sum of money. So the fact that we could reach a $20,000 valuation with such low numbers of usage, such low numbers of wallets, such low numbers of utility is amazing. I mean, it means you could go 200,000, right? If you actually had a little adoption, one app that someone might use once a week at least,
So let's talk a little bit then about what you're trying to do with Bitcoin HEX, because I come from an internet marketing background, as I'm aware that you do as well. So from a timing point of view, from an internet marketing point of view, from a YouTubers desperate to make money right now and the referral program point of view, I see a lot of untold genius going on right now. I really do. I just think, fuck, why didn't I think of that?
You talking about my referral program?
Well, not just the referral program, the timing of it all.
Nice.
Just the timing of it, like nearly at the bottom where people are going, God, I need some money. I know I'm going to reach out to Rich and see if I come on a live stream and I'll shell my fucking link, which, by the way, guys, is in the bottom of my stream. But
nice.
No, I was looking at some of the numbers, and there's a few things I want to kind of talk about. One Bitcoin is equal to 10 Bitcoin HEX, right?
10,000. It's always more than that.
Yeah.
So
and
if you
two lots of 10% or two lots of 20%. So I've got here 14,400 allocated.
That's if you self-refer and claim the first day. So
based on the current circulating supply, there's like 250 billion potential BHX out there.
So we don't know exactly what the supply will be, because as more bonuses are given out to people that acted earlier and stronger, it inflates the currency for those guys to the detriment of the people that came later, right? Because their slice of the pie will be slightly smaller. Everything in this currency is designed to move the price up. It's all about the fundamentals. So we're locking up. In Bitcoin, you've got three functions. You can send it, you can receive it, and you can mine it. And that's it. That's all you got, okay? And it's been that way for 10 years. Now, in Bitcoin HEX, you can send it, you can receive it at higher transaction throughput, at lower fees, with more DEX support, with more distributed exchanges, with audited contracts, right? With a bug bounty program. And it's, in Bitcoin, if you got in early, the only way to make gains was to just hope the price went up. In this system, if you get in early and you stake, you get all the coins that weren't claimed, which is like Satoshi's unlikely to claim his coins. So you're going to get some of his coins. You're going to get money from referring people. Well, that's awesome. What a great idea. You know who else has a referral program? Tesla, Amazon, eBay. Every intelligent company has a referral program. If you're crypto and you don't have a referral program, you're retarded. Like, we're just handing these tokens out. They're free. So why wouldn't I give some to incentivize people to do honest outreach action, right? The people that didn't need the help as much, they're going to end up referring themselves. The people that did need the help and can't figure out how to refer themselves, they're just going to pay the people that referred them. And that's good, wholesome, honest behavior, right? People will make more. If this token does what I think it will do and becomes a top 3 coin, then the people that referred people to join this will make more money doing that than they did doing anything else in crypto ever. Like if you're a wallet provider and you've been like begging, please buy our t-shirts or please give us a little bit of money so we can pay our devs, that life sucks, right? Like being someone that tries to make honest money in crypto is very, very hard because no one in crypto wants to pay for anything, right? Andreas Antonopoulos, everyone loved him when he was promoting Bitcoin. As soon as he wrote Mastering Ethereum, no likes, no retweets, everyone hates him, right? Because it's like player hating to the maximum degree, right? And anybody that tries to make some money, they just hate it, unless you're a scammer. If you're a scammer, they'll give you all the money in the world. But if you're doing honest business, they don't want to pay for it, right? So people that promote this as an affiliate, if the token goes to the price I think it will, you make more money getting that 20% of somebody's stack. If you get one whale or a bunch of little dudes, you'll make more money on that than the whole lifetime income of your business from slicing some little fees off of somebody's transaction.
Yeah, I think it's quite important as well, just to kind of differentiate for people that are watching. I mean, I've been an affiliate since 2007. I used to be an online gambling affiliate, so I know that like Calvin Ayre, for example, before he decided to partner up with Fake Satoshi, I used to promote Bodog, years ago. Affiliate marketing and Ponzi's, I think there needs to be, people need to realize there's a big differential between the two.
I don't think that many Ponzi's have ever had affiliate programs. I think you've had like BitConnect.
Well, that's the perception right now, isn't there? That's the perception, that the risk of the perception of Bitcoin HEX is, which I'm quite happy to push and promote Bitcoin HEX, but I would never have promoted BitConnect. But I think the perception, and some people, I think, do you not think that there's going to have that slight barrier of people thinking, ooh, if you're giving them away, does it not make it a bit Ponzi-esque?
No, it's the opposite. Like anyone that thinks that's retarded. Let me explain Ponzi's to you guys. A Ponzi is something that promises you really high rewards that it cannot sustain, and it pays the early people those rewards that were promised out of their balance of money that they owe to other people. And then at one point, when they can't get enough new money in to pay their debts, they collapse. So that's what a Ponzi is. A Ponzi is something that owes money that it can't pay because it made promises that were unreasonable, very high rates of return, right? So it ain't a Ponzi if they don't ask you for money. If they're not getting any money from you, how are they going to collapse? So first off, this token's free. Second, if it ever owes you something, it can pay it to you because it owes you on something that it invented. So there's like no relationship to a Ponzi whatsoever. Now you could say that it could become a speculative bubble and the price could go insanely, insanely high and then drop a bit and then go insanely high again and then drop a bit, right? Which is what Bitcoin does. So if you hold Bitcoin for more than 3 years historically, you will always make money. But if you bought 1,200 and sold 250, you're a sad dude. If you bought 30 and sold 1, you're a sad dude. If you bought 20K and sold 3K, you're a sad dude, right? So there's a difference between a speculative bubble, a Ponzi, and a pyramid scheme. They're just different. So this is not a pyramid scheme. There's only one level of refer. One level. If other people refer other people, you ain't making nothing, right? I don't believe in multi-level marketing. It's how do you, like multi-level marketing for the most part is how do you insert the most number of middlemen between the product and the user, right?
Yeah, which is very anti-crypto. Middlemen in general is just completely anti-crypto, isn't it?
That's why I invented this. So people ask, why Bitcoin HEX? Because instead of sending money to China to buy mining hardware from people that turn out to be bad actors and attack your network and making those guys rich so that they can inflate the hash power race so they have to sell more coins to pay their electric bills, driving the price down, why don't we, instead of rewarding those bad actors, why don't we give the money to the holders? And then the people that actually bring value to the ecosystem by making the price go higher, by removing supply, those guys get all the gains. So I've got cool keywords, right? When you stake your Bitcoin HEX, it's like virtual mining. It's like getting mining hardware for free. You don't have to hope it arrives on time. You don't have to hope the difficulty rate's fine. You don't have to pay any electric bills, right? And then as more people stake, the price goes up, assuming flat or increasing demand, supply and demand curve. In Bitcoin, the mining's the opposite. The more people that mine, the worse it is for the price. In Bitcoin HEX, so we added a new function. We pay holders instead of miners. It's a positive reinforcement cycle that drives price up instead of price down. We have higher throughput. We have lower fees. We have audits. We have bug bounties. Everything's better. But people are hating. They're like, why are you doing it, man? It's just a money grab. You're like, yeah, it's a money grab. We're all going to grab a lot of money because it's going to be awesome. It also does everything you care about better. And the mining ecosystem's better too. You can mine Ethereum on your GPU and be a miner. Unless you send a couple $1,000s to China, you ain't being a miner of Bitcoin, right? So they've got a more centralized mining network with more little bad actors that demonize the real Bitcoin, try and do their own forks and such. I don't ever demonize the real Bitcoin. Bitcoin HEX has nothing to do with Bitcoin at all except the holders. And as soon as a snapshot happens, we don't even have that, right? As soon as a snapshot happens, you can sell all your Bitcoin. The network has nothing to do with it at all. And I'm more than happy to pivot to a better HEX name of some sort.
So the way in which people claim, I noticed from the videos on Bitcoin HEX that in particular you've got just going back to the referral program again for a second here. You show that you use MetaMask for setting it up. Does it have? But you say on the video there's something about claiming in MetaMask that will happen at a later date. Does it all have to be in there, or can people use a normal Ethereum address on Mu or something?
You can, when you use an ERC20 contract, there's standard functions like send and receive. Any wallet that supports ERC20 functions will support the Bitcoin HEX send and receive function. However, we have other functions that are cool that aren't send and receive, like claim, start stake, end stake, and good accounting. Okay? So start stake, end stake, and good accounting just means start stake is you're going to lock up your coins. They're going to get sent to the smart contract that minted them. They're going to hold them, right? So you don't have to leave your wallet online or anything. It just holds your coins. You're going to tell how long you want to hold for. If you hold longer, it's going to give you 20% more per year. You don't have to do full years. You can do partials, right? You choose how many days you want to do. When you end stake, it pays you out. It pays you all your rewards. Now, if you end your stake early and you didn't do what you said you would, you're going to pay a penalty of half your periods. If you didn't serve half your periods, it's going to come out of your principal. You're going to get a fine. So if you stake, you better do what you said, unless you're going to pay a fine. And half of that fine goes to the pool of people that did what they said they were going to do and stayed staked, right? So I call it a truth engine. And I call the staking system value ratchet because money comes in, but it's unlikely to leave, right? It's like the Hotel California. Why would you want out? Price keeps going up. And
so essentially it's more like parking as opposed to staking that people can take it out at any point if they wanted to, sort of thing.
Well, you can, but you're going to pay a penalty depending on how much time you served, right? So if you serve half your time, you shouldn't really have a penalty, right? And that's the same the way it works in normal CDs in the real world. So if you get a 3-month CD, you're going to get nothing out of it. You're going to get none of the interest. If you got a 6-month CD, you're going to have a 3-month penalty. If you get a year CD, you're going to have a 6-month penalty. If you have a 2-year CD, you're going to have a 1-month penalty. And that's looking at the average penalties on bankrate.com. So I basically modeled regular term deposits and certificate deposit with a 20% increase per year extra interest. Same as those. We just start with a much higher number, right? Because theirs is artificially low from getting free money from the Fed. Ours is more realistic. It more mirrors what is reasonable in the real world for interest. So our actual inflation rate is 3.69%, and you'll make 369% if only 1% of coin stake. You'll make half of that if half the coin stake. You'll make another half if another half of the coin stake, right? So you're going to make more or less return on your money based on how many people are in the pool competing with you for that same money and how long your stake is versus theirs. So people that stake longer, they get more bonus shares. And those bonus shares they got reduce the payouts for people that didn't get bonus shares, right? So there's this war for longer stakes. This thing is designed so well. Like every pumpamental there is, first of its kind pumpamentals you've never seen before, and everyone that you have seen before, except for fake partnerships. We're just going to have to manage real ones if we do. And like a minimum staking amount. It seemed unfair to me. So these are the two things.
I noticed from your your conditions. I didn't for the claiming. I noticed the anti-whale thing, but also you put in that Mt. Gox can't claim.
Yep.
Being in the space for as long as you've been, 2011, I think you said, was it that you started out? Did you lose any money in Mt. Gox?
I did not.
Were you a user? No. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure, right? So I don't think I did, but I'd be curious what the state of my account is over there. So at some point, I actually need to call Japan up and be like, "Hey guys, do I have anything in here?" So I hope I do. I hope that it's like Monopoly, and the bank has made an error in your favor. I hope that I have many thousands of coins waiting for me.
26 minutes in, and the man with the hat mentions Monopoly. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
My top hat's up there, but the camera's pointed to the left.
So, in terms of then the supply, is that going to be determined based on how many people claim? Or...
Yeah. So the more bonuses that get handed out, the larger the supply is. I did some estimates. I think it's going to be in between 250 and 300 billion, which is how I arrived at the 10,000 ratio. So I want to have more supply than TRX and XRP, which are about 100 billion, because I want that advantage of having a lower price, the same advantage that they had, which helped them get into the top 10. I use the same system and piggyback over them, leapfrog over them. And if you want to know about choosing how many units to have in your supply, the newest token, which pumped recently, tripled, I think, is this BTT token that has a supply of 990 billion. Three times what I'm targeting, right? So
I did a video of trying to back it. I knew that there was never any fucking chance that I would have got in. Do you know what I mean? I was trying to click the tick box, and it was changing from, I'm in Spain, it was going from German to English to Chinese, and like all these errors that are no way linked to ticking a box. It just, that reeked of...
Yeah, it sounds funky.
But yeah.
So
they hold most of those coins as well.
So, I mean, I feel like 30% regret. I mean, maybe I should triple it to 30,000 BHX and hit the same target that the BTT guys did. My only concern with that is that their supply is coming on over time, over a year, right? Because they keep doing these airdrops. And my supply, it's instantly created and then handed out to the contracts, but the coins are created off the bat. So if I triple the ratio from 10K to 30K, it's going to move the minimum tradable 1 Satoshi value. Like the minimum amount you can trade a token against Bitcoin for on an exchange is 1 Satoshi. That's 1/100th of a million. So if I triple that number, it's going to bring my minimum market cap up to like 90 million or something in this bear market. So right now I'm happy with 10,000, but there's maybe a 15% chance I could triple it and hit the same supply decision that BTT has been successful with.
It's quite mad though, isn't it, when you actually look at how fucking clever it is what they did. I don't particularly agree with it, but I mean, this whole airdrop thing, I was thinking, shit, they're going to have this huge selling pressure. But then I thought, actually, like you've just said, you can only trade against one Satoshi. So that anyone that gets airdrop, they're going to have to buy more before they can dump it. So they've got to buy it, they've got to pump it before they can dump it. Which it's clever. It is clever, but
Yeah, I'm not sure which decision's better. I know that being higher than TRX and XRP is useful, and I only fear that what if exchange doesn't want to list you at a 90 million minimum market cap? I don't know, right? I've never listed a coin on an exchange before, so it just seems like 300 billion is a better choice. So I think I'm sticking with it, but 15% will go to 30K. So.
And when will you make that decision? Because obviously you said between 4 and 6 weeks behind.
We could do it any time before the snapshot, really. So it's like it doesn't matter. Like does it matter if I give you like 40 quarters or $10? Meh, whatever. It's still $10,
So one thing I've got to ask, because some people have, and it's not an attack. It's just I'm just curious. Some people have kind of cited, what's in it for Richard? How much are you getting? What's happening to unclaimed
I've got a lot of
Bitcoin,
so that's
and
nice.
it gives you.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of Bitcoin? So do you have a lot of Bitcoin in different wallets? It's just silly whale rule apply to you?
So the silly whale kicks in over 1,000 coins. So if you have 1,000 coins and you're too stupid to split it into smaller wallets before the snapshot, you get the silly whale penalty. So you're going to lose half your stack, and it's going to be redistributed to other people because you didn't shard your wallet before the snapshot. If you have 10,000 coins, like an exchange, right? So we support these SegWit addresses now, and there are 2 exchanges that have over 100,000 coins in a cold wallet that uses this address format we just added, Binance and Bittrex. And if they claim on behalf of their customers, they're going to get a 75% whale penalty. So 75% of their stack is going to be given to people that stake. And 25% will be left over for them to hopefully give to their clients. And if they don't claim the first week, 2% of that stack's missing after the 75% kill, right? So like, you got to get in early. Everything in this is about getting in early.
And you're rolling it out, was it over 50 weeks?
Yeah, 50 weeks, 2% a week. I think our sampling frequency moved to daily. So it's 2% a week, but you're going to be bleeding over the whole week, I think. I have to check with the devs because originally everything was just going to be weekly, and we wanted better resolution, sharper detail, which meant higher sampling frequency. So now we sample every day. Instead of only locking up for 70 periods, you could lock up for daily periods. And the cost of that is that it takes more gas and more transaction processing to loop through all the rows to add up every row that you were in, right? Oh, you were in for this day and that day and this day and that day. How many shares did you have? How many shares did the pool have? How many coins were in there to be given out? And then it loops through all those, and it costs gas every row we loop through to add it up. So, if more resolution limits how many years of staking you can have, and to some degree will limit how many stakes you can have in a single address. And then you just have to move your coins to another address to do a bunch of stakes from that one. I haven't published those limits yet because we don't know them exactly, because the code isn't final yet, and we can't do gas estimates until the code's final.
So have you found the community out there on your Stripe? For example, you've got 5,000 people in your Stripe group. Is it like 5,000 or 6,000 people on Telegram? There, you've got 1,000 people in the Bitcoin HEX group.
1,400 now. We get about 100 a day.
Below, for anyone that's not yet in the Bitcoin HEX Telegram group, the link is below. It's t.me/Bitcoin HEX, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
How's the community responding to the whole idea?
Extremely well. Yeah. Extremely well. So I'm basically churning followers right now. I usually put on maybe 20, 30 followers a day when I didn't talk about Bitcoin HEX. Now I put on 2 followers a day because I lose 30 hateful idiots that don't like free money, and I gain 30 people that like free money. And I'm happy for the trade, right? I'm happy to churn out losers that don't want to help me make the world a better place. Go fuck yourself, guys. If you don't see the value of replacing the counterparties that give you interest currently, right? Who gives you interest currently in Bitcoin? exchanges that lose your money. They give you interest for loaning out your coins to short, right? Who else gives you interest? Ponzi schemes. Who else gives you interest? Maybe you could sell your coins for fiat, buy mining hardware for it, hope it all works out and you make more coins than the coins you spent. Those options all suck. Those are all terrible options, right? So Bitcoin was supposed to replace currency, but currency is not the financial system, okay? Currency is not a savings account. Currency is not a time deposit. Currency is not a distributed exchange. Currency is not anonymity the way that we have it in Bitcoin today. We need anonymity. We need distributed exchanges. We need to get rid of the counterparties. We need to get rid of the people that lose all your coins that you left with them hoping to make a little more. We replace them with a smart contract. Trustless interest is an amazing innovation. If you don't support it, fuck you. It's that easy.
Nice. I think there's a few people do attempt it. There was a fork a while ago with Bitcoin Interest, I think it was, and there's another one that I was involved with, MineX, where you got it. It's delegated proof of stake more than anything as opposed to interest, I suppose. So it's a good concept, an interesting concept.
The difference between this project and all other interest-bearing projects, such as masternodes, proof of stake, the other ones you mentioned, is that in this system, when you lock your coins, you are not getting out. You are not getting out unless you want to pay a serious penalty to the people that stayed in. That's a huge difference, okay? In these other systems, the reason that the price will go up and then die forever is because there's no reason for people not to sell. They can get in, they can get out, right? That's not the way it's supposed to work. The way it's supposed to work is the way it works in the real world, where if you lock for longer, you make more money. Just like if you're a founder in a company. If you're a founder in a company, you have a vesting period. You can't just dump your shares. There's a vesting period. Why? Because you're going to make more money. But you're going to make more money later, not now, right? So vesting periods, CDs, treasuries, bonds, these things all are less liquid and lock your funds for a greater return later. And the longer you lock, the higher they pay. It's been around for thousands of years as an idea, right? The time value of money. And I'm the first guy to actually build it.
And all of this you're building, like you say, within as an add-on to MetaMask at the moment.
Well, so MetaMask is just a front end. So here's how it works, right? You've got the blockchain, and the blockchain in Ethereum runs what's called the Ethereum virtual machine, which is just basically like a big global world computer, which actually is terribly not powerful. Your cell phone is way more powerful than the world computer. But that's the case with all blockchains. You're going to have extremely less power than your phone because it's trustless and immutable and keeps history forever, right? So that's what we need. We don't need more throughput, really. If you stake your coins for 5 years, how many transactions a day are you going to do? Well, none. You're doing one lock and one unlock in 5 years, right? So you need 2 TPS per 5 years. That's not a lot of throughput, right? So if what was the question again?
No, I was just saying, are you building most of it on?
Oh, so the ERC20 thing, the MetaMask thing. So here's how the blockchain works. So you've got your blockchain, you've got your Ethereum virtual machine. Now our smart contract is actually immutable, right? Like the Bitcoin 21 million limit, maybe it's a limit. Or maybe the miners just double click a different EXE that says the limit's 42 million. And then guess what? It is. The Bitcoin network is whatever the miners and the nodes in the system double click the EXE. And they're always upgrading the EXE. So we used to have a 1 meg block, now we have a slightly bigger block. We used to not have SegWit, now we have SegWit. We used to not have check time log verify, now we do. We used to not have multisig, now we do, right? Well, people keep double clicking those EXEs, and there's a risk every once in a while that some change they made fucks up the consensus, which is what those inflation bugs are. Somebody made a code to the networking side to make the transactions occur a little lower latency, and then it opened up free coins for whoever figures out this bug. You don't have that problem with the smart contract. No one can change it. Cannot be changed. The smart contract is there. That's it, right? So it's very unlikely we'll have an inflation bug. It would have to be some weird, very weird thing, right? So when you ask about MetaMask, all MetaMask is a middleware to let you see on your browser something that can talk to the blockchain. That's all it is, right? So in Bitcoin, you double click your wallet exe and boom, it appears. And it's just a middleware that shows you a GUI and then talks to the network. That's all it is. So you can use whatever middleware you want. You don't have to use MetaMask. So you can use the Etherscan write contract function. That'll let you write to the blockchain. You can use, I think Koinomi has a custom ERC20 ABI thing where you give the contract address and you can do custom functions in there. I think I haven't used it. I was just talking to one of their devs. And you can write your own wallet, right? It's all open source. So you've got, and as this project becomes more successful, wallets will then, to keep their user base, add those custom features to be native in their apps. So it's easier for these users to want to use their apps, right? To use their wallet so they can make their Changelly money and make their Shapeshift money, which is the only revenue source these guys have, right? Unless you guys are smart enough to promote my project and make 20% of people stack, which you'll make more money on that than you do shilling, Changelly, and Shapeshift, where you get pennies of transactions and then you get pennies of the pennies. How about 20%, bro? Sounds better, right?
It's funny you mentioned Changelly. Have you ever looked at the markup they charge?
I haven't. I just made a ref link for them like a couple days ago, but I didn't actually look at their fees.
I was looking at the price of a particular token and it was 12% more expensive on Changelly. It's like, Jesus, that's significant. And
well, that's the thing that's so funny about crypto is everything that has a middleman is terribly priced. You want to use a Bitcoin ATM, 10%. You want to use Changelly, 12%. You want to like have a big market order, books are thin, 5% slippage depending on what you're trading. Like it's everything in crypto that doesn't stay digital to digital in the same system is murdered with middleman fees, murdered with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to look at the biggest companies in crypto don't have their own coin, apart from Binance, which doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. But yeah, like BitMEX, no coin. Coinbase, arguably no coin, but also arguably it's Litecoin. Fucking, do you know what I mean? It's everyone knows it. But
I don't think most people know Charlie Lee worked there, but a lot of our audience doesn't know shit about shit. So some of our inside jokes, they're just not getting.
So the strengths of this then, obviously, lower barrier of entry for, well, yeah, it's cheap. It's going to be easier for people to make money. So low barrier entry to earn money as opposed to mining. So people can start stake, end stake, all within my Ether wallet. It seems a lot easier than going out and buying a load of fucking mining equipment, paying electricity, rental costs, so on and so forth. So that seems like a good thing. The threats, though, for this. I mean, what do you think of the? Not sure. No, let's start on the weaknesses. Yep. What do you see as a potential weakness for this? Because obviously you are giving away a lot of coins. Are you concerned that
it's just data? They're free.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. Like Bitcoin used to be handed out for free too, and then it became very valuable, and then it stopped. There used to be Bitcoin faucets all over the place, right? Now there's less. Like people think, oh well, there can't be free money. Bullshit. Did you claim your XRP when they were handing out for free? Did you claim your lumens when they were handing them out to free Bitcoin holders? No. Well, then you're stupid. Yeah, that was free money. Did you claim your Bitcoin HEX when they gave it out for free? You better. Like, if you don't claim free money in the bear market, you are doing your family a disservice. Donate the money that you make to the Sens Foundation. They might, develop some technology that will save you or your loved one's life. Don't throw free money in the garbage.
I have to admit, I fucking missed out on Ontology. That was a huge amount of free money. That was, I think it was like $10,000 or something between the three things that they asked you to do to claim it. And within 2 or 3 weeks, I think the stack worked out around about $10,000. That was a clever play, and that's still there. The top 20, top 25 coins. And I have heard people saying, well, if you give away all the coins, there's going to be a huge amount of selling pressure.
Let me tell you how I fixed all these problems, okay? Because I put a lot of work into this. If you give away coins for free to people, they'll dump them on your head, right? So what do you want in your coin? What you want is you want to get rid of all the non-believers. There's a couple ways to get rid of them, right? First way to get rid of them is let them dump the coin. Get the fuck out. Cool, you out? You sold? You're out now, right? All right, bring in the marketing. This asshole's out. Bring the marketing in. Let's go. Pump it, right? Fuck those guys. They didn't do anything for the ecosystem, right? So That's one way to get rid of them, just let them sell, right? What's another way to get rid of them? The people in this project that get the most coins, they got in early. If you got in week 25, you're already missing half your stack. If you were a whale and didn't shard your stack before the snapshot and you've got over 10,000 coins, you're losing 75% of your stack, plus another half because you're 25 weeks late. And it's worse than that, because not only are you missing the half of your stack that's left after the 75%, which is 12.5%, right? So 75% leaves you with 25, half of 25 is 12.5. You've now got 12.5% of your stack because you didn't shard your wallet because you were a silly whale and because you waited 25 weeks, right? But it's worse than that. The people that were in, they got your coins and they got interest for being staked, right? And they got Satoshi's coins and they got all the other idiots like you that got whale penaltied or got in late. And those guys are way more rich than you now. So you don't just have 12.5% of your stack. You maybe have like 4% of the value you could have if you were smart and locked up at the beginning, right? So we get rid of whales two ways. One, you can't dump what's locked up. And all the rewards, for the most part, are given to locked up staked coins. The only two rewards exist for people that just claim. That's a speed bonus, 20% first week, falls off to 0 over the 50 weeks, linear. Referral, 20% if you refer, you can self-refer. Not everyone will. It's just how the internet is. Everything else is to stakers. Interest goes to stakers. Penalties, right? Oh, you ejected, you emergency unstaked, goes to stakers. Didn't end your stake on time. If you don't end your stake on time, you get a 1% per week loss of your stake. But anyone can save you. Anyone in the world can run the function that saves you, the good accounting function. So it could be that some nice guy just runs that function once every 2 weeks, and then no one will ever pay the penalty because it has a 2-week grace period. But also could be the case that no one runs it, and we're happy to see you screw up and pay the staker pool. I'm not going to run it. I hope people do screw up and pay the staker pool. But if someone else wants to run it and save everybody, sweet, you can. It's an option for you.
So if I was to stake from, I don't know, March 1st to March 1st, 2020, then I would have to, within a 2-week grace period, have to end my stake at the end of around about March 1st. If I don't do that, for example, then I get penalized 1%. Yeah. Or when you make a stake, you are reducing everyone else's payout in the staker pool because you're adding shares to the pool. What that means is that when your stake is over, you need to pull your expired shares out so that everyone else can get paid what they deserve to get paid. And there's a fee to doing that because it's Ethereum, right? Every piece of transaction that wants to get done has to have a little gas fee. Probably costs you 3 cents now, right? So if you don't pull your shares out and run good accounting or end your stake after it's expired, you got a 2-week grace period, and then we start slapping you for 1% every week. But anyone can run it for you. So if some guy got burnt and he lost some money, and now he wants to make sure no one ever gets burnt by that penalty again, he can run the function for everybody that has an open stake or an expired stake. Now, there's also like tax consequences here. So the way this was designed was, if you end your stake, that'll send you your coins. Well, maybe you don't want your coins right now for some reason. So if you run good accounting, it pulls your expired shares out of the share pool and doesn't send you your coins. So you can go get your coins whenever you want. You're just not going to get penalized, right? So I don't think that the staker pool is going to be so lucky that a lot of people get nuked by this thing. I think someone is going to pull those shares out because it's so affordable to do. If the price for doing it was higher, then it would be less likely to occur. This game theory had to exist for 2 reasons. One, there is no automatic in Ethereum. You can't ask it to wake you up at 7 o'clock. You can't do it. For it to do something, something has to ask it to do something. So you require another computer to ask it to do a thing, and then it'll do it. So to have an accurate system state, someone has to keep asking it to update the state. Got it.
So
yeah, okay.
Who should pay for your shares to get pulled out if not you, right? You're the one that's making all the other stakers get paid less. So that's the one reason, is a computing reason. Another reason is it makes the game stickier, right? So what made Bitcoin take off? Mining calculators. How much money can I make? What's the hash rate? What's my electricity cost? And people would spend weeks trying to figure that shit out. And it's just like a girl that you're in love with. The more you think about them, the deeper in love you get, right? It's that infatuation. So hours of mind space, right? So part of the reason that my system's so complex is a lot of that complexity was necessary to be amazing, but a lot of it is to suck up hours of time in your brain so that you can't stop thinking about it. How long are you going to stake? 20% 1 year, 50% 1 year, 20%. Like, it's there's so much game theory in this. It's so interesting. You know, in Bitcoin, you just have the price, maybe the hash rate if you're a miner, right? In this, you've got, all right, how many people are in the staking pool? How many people are coming out of stake? Here's your graph.
And you're going to show this,
right?
so you're going to have like a
Yeah.
UI where people can see all this
It's
shit.
it's all public, and that's the most important part of the project. That's the sales pitch. How much am I going to make? How much did the last guys make, right? That's the whole game, right? So those graphs and having good visualization for your mad gains is one of the most compelling features of the system. So I need to get a demo up of that stuff. I don't want to pull my devs off actually building the working thing to build like not the working thing, right? So I'd rather have them work on the contract so we can get to audit and the auditor can be working on it and then do all that stuff while we're in audit. I don't want to delay getting to audit to get more marketing materials up because the marketing's already going very well. And I got 4 interviews today and I haven't asked anyone for an interview. These are all people that have reached out to me. I've never asked anyone for an interview.
Well, I think it's because I think a lot of people are like even like me. I mean, I'm looking at it and thinking, well, shit. The dates. First of all, the date's getting closer because I've been looking since before Christmas. But it just seems interesting. It just seems really like a really interesting experiment for a start. But what I like about it, I like the half hate and half for it. You know, I think there's a lot of people that are going to turn their back on it because they think they know how it's going to play out.
I turned my back on Ethereum and fucked everyone over that took my advice. All my friends that said, hey, should I buy Ethereum? I was like, no, it's terrible idea. Pumped higher and faster and harder than Bitcoin did. They didn't like me for that shit.
The same thing with XRP. I was like, no, it's the devil. I'm like, no, you want to sell it. And then it went from like 15 cents to $4. I was like, you haven't sold it.
So I've learned to keep my price opinions separate from my technical opinions because they are not related. Like bullshit pumps and good projects die, and it's all about the pumpamentals, man.
Yeah, I mean it is. You can have the greatest projects in the world, but if it's not moving, if it's moving through the pages of CoinMarketCap, then it's invisible and pointless.
All right.
If you're not on page one, I mean, you know this from the internet, your internet marketing background. You must know this. If you're not on page one, you're fucking invisible.
If you're not top 3, you're invisible. If they have to page down, you're invisible. I think 85% of clicks are in the top 3, and everything else fights for the 15%.
God bless AdWords.
Yeah, I've been in this since before AdWords existed. So when I had internetmarketingmasters.com, we were doing pay-per-click management on GoTo, which then turned into Overture, which was the pay-per-click system used bidding for Yahoo traffic. So AdWords didn't exist yet. So there was no paying for clicks on AdWords. You could just pay for impressions with banners at the time. Like Google used to have banners.
So that must have been like 2003 to 2004, 2003?
2001.
Wow.
That's when I started that, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And not a world you miss?
I do miss it, actually. And I'm back in it now. So, like, I'm looking at my Google Analytics all the time now. I know which referrers are doing good and I know which referrers are doing bad. You know, I can see when people are saying nice things about the project because they come through in my referral path. I like all the dark patterns that Google uses because they want to sell you traffic instead of make it easy for you to get your own. They make it nearly impossible for you to find out who the fuck sent you your traffic. And it didn't used to be that way. It used to be very easy to know who sent you your traffic. They would tell you what keywords they came in on. They literally will not tell you what keyword they came in on now. It's disgusting.
Well, let's say you can't create a competitive campaign against them, surely. You know, it's a cat and mouse game with Google.
There's a lot of bullshit going on the internet, man. It's a monopoly, and they need to be broken up, and they need to be treated as a utility because they are a fucking utility. They're as important as the phone company. They're more important than the phone company, and the phone company's utility. So they're a utility. So they need to open up access to their databases and have competition to provide better services to the users instead of fucking the user at every possible turn. You've never had less choice. That's not how capitalism's supposed to work.
Speaking of this kind of subject and also marketing, obviously the bans on pay-per-click advertising for crypto, you've obviously looked at circumventing that by utilizing affiliate links. Great idea. What other sort of marketing are you doing?
Well, I mean, right now I haven't spent any money on ads at all because I'm focused on finishing the white paper instead of writing copy and doing A/B tests across different campaigns. And it's also very hard for me to try and measure how much money a user is worth yet, right? Like how much is a new visitor to bitcoinhex.com worth? I don't know. Do they have Bitcoin to actually claim with? Because like right now the pitch is all revolved around people claiming. I can't wait to rotate out of that, truthfully. Like giving away free money, yeah, it's okay. But you know what's even better? Getting people to buy, right? And that's a different sales pitch. So I can't wait to rotate the sales pitch from claim and do all this complicated shit with all these weird words with things you've never seen before. It's a shitty pitch, right? And it doesn't generate revenue. It just generates the infrastructure and the strength and the mind space that will turn into huge revenue later, right? So I have to go through this launch phase where we give a lot of free money to people, but that shit's only 50 weeks long. And it's really, you know, less if you think about how much they're getting hit on the way, right? So half of their stack's missing at week 25. So even though it's 50 weeks long, week 50, if you claim, you're not making much. You're getting 2% of what you could have got. And it's been inflated to fuck to reward all the early people. So you're really getting like maybe 0.2%. So this launch phase of giving away free money, I can't wait to transition out of it and start onboarding real users that want to spend money, send wire transfers.
Speaking of the free money thing, how long's the cookie tracking?
3 years.
Like 3 years. Oh wow. Okay. So if somebody wanted to, just so people know that are watching on my channel right now, if you want to take my link below, replace my Ethereum address with your Ethereum address, that creates your cookie link or your tracking link, and you can check the cookies by doing inspect element, can't you? You can actually see.
I wrote a guide. It's a 6-minute guide on the bottom of the homepage. 5 minute 40 seconds.
If somebody wants to send somebody or self-refer like now, so for example, if I was to send somebody to Bitcoin Hex right now, there's no need to do it right now because people can't claim yet.
Well, you know, it can't hurt. So here's the thing, right? You're only going to get paid if they claim. They're only going to claim if they understand how to fucking claim. And it takes a little while to figure all this out, right? So you kind of do need to send them a little bit early so they can read up a little bit and learn about, oh, okay, here's how you sign a transaction. Oh, okay, we're going to use MetaMask as the wallet. Let's install MetaMask. If you don't have MetaMask installed, how are you going to claim? You got to get the transaction to the Ethereum network. You're going to do it a harder way. The easiest way is MetaMask with our wallet that we built. All the other ways are harder, right? So it's very intelligent to refer them earlier. Because if you don't refer them, someone else will. Then they're going to get paid and you're not. So, I mean, maybe you could get lucky and they'll click your link last and it'll overwrite. But what if you don't get lucky?
Yeah. So what are you doing right now in terms of speaking to exchanges? Because obviously that's going to be a huge part.
So IDEX said they wanted to list it.
Hence the audits. Is that what you're auditing?
The audit matters because I don't feel like working really hard on something that isn't going to last forever. Like I want it to last forever, right? This is every good idea in crypto that exists. So it needs to work and work for a really long time. I don't want to go through the effort of having to airdrop a fix to everybody. It's better to just pay the auditors and make sure it's right first time, you know? Because it's fixable if something goes wrong. I could airdrop the system state before a break to a new fix thing. But why? Just have it not break in the first place, you know? Like there's auditors. I have money, they want money, I give them money, my thing works better, I'm happy, you know?
Awesome. So are you going to stay on the DEX side or, I mean, obviously
well, no, I mean, so I have this, I can't promise you work. I can't really even give you the expectation of work because I don't want to fail that leg of the Howey test. So the Howey test is, are you a security? Therefore, restricted by security laws. Let's have a test. Have people given money to a common pool with the expectation of profit from the work of others? Give money, you ain't giving me no money. Okay, we're good. So just failing that means that the whole thing fails and you're not a security. But let's just play it safe and hit all the other ones too. So you ain't giving me no money. Are you giving it to a common pool? No, there's no pool and there's no money. So that's 2 fails. Are you giving it with the expectation of profit? Well, I'm allowed to sell you a collectible plate and say it's going to go up in price. That's cool. I'll only sell you a Beanie Baby and tell you it's going to go up in price. That's cool. That's not a security. What makes it a security is the reason it's going up in price work that you're going to do in the future, right? So I promise you no work. I promise you absolutely no work at all. Please do not have any expectation of work, all right? Don't want to be a security. So when you ask me what about exchanges, it's like, well, if I contact the exchange before the token even exists, is that the expectation of work in the future? No, because it's before it. So I could probably get away with telling you, yeah, as soon as we're in audit, I'm going to call the exchanges and see what's up. But I have to be careful not. You understand what I'm trying to avoid, right?
Yeah. I do not. It's a great analogy, the Beanie Baby thing, because the SEC are fucking stupid, in my opinion. They've turned into a crypto blog. I notice now.
I think the SEC is really smart on this point. I think the SEC tries to do their best to protect people from losing their life savings and getting the shit fucked out of them. I think the SEC did a really good job with their Howie ICO website. If you haven't seen it, you should go visit it. It's howieico.com. And it tells you about the Howie test, and it shows you some tokens and whether they think they're high risk of being a security or whether they're low risk of being a security. That's amazing outreach that we haven't seen from any other regulator in any other country. And there is a lot of scams and a lot of bullshit out there that someone needs to fight, and I did my best to fight it, and I'm not sure how effective I was. I think that Floyd Mayweather having to give his money back, and the rapper that says, you played yourself.
Khalid,
yeah, right, DJ Khaled. Those guys, they needed to not be promoting securities and not disclosing their relationship to the company. Like they were violating securities law, and that shit's not good for the world. It's not good for the world to have a boxing guy getting noobs into a pump and dump fucking scam. That's not good for the world, and the SEC is out there to fight that bullshit and make the world a better place. So I'm actually pretty happy with the SEC, in my opinion. But I mean, so like I see all the shit that happens that's wrong, right? And I want it to be better, and I think the SEC kind of wants the same stuff.
I just think the SEC looks a bit cheap right now. I mean, for a start, they decommissioned? Are they even active right now? But I noticed a tweet from them the other day. They tweeted out, and it was all about securities and ICOs and the difference between ICOs and STOs. And I might as well have been reading CCN, or a Bitcoin blog,
Well,
and
dude,
it just
they're in an
seems
industry that's been the same for 100 fucking years. Like, what's the new thing that happened in securities in the last 100 years? There's nothing else going on. Like, like junk bonds was what, the 80s? And then like what's in between the 80s and now? I mean, what, CDOs? Like credit default swaps? I don't know, man.
That's a question for Belfort. That was his timeline. So, well, listen, dude, you've got crypto love now, I think, haven't you? In the next 40 minutes. So,
dude, I'll talk to you about anything forever. Like, I figured, look, man, if I'm gonna put on a nice shirt, lol. If I'm gonna wear pants, I might as well do a bunch of interviews, right?
Speaking of shirts, what the fuck was going on earlier this year? No, last year. Last year, I was in rehab last year, and I came out quite slim. But I stopped smoking. It's one of the things that happened. So, like, I was just like, yeah, I got this new lease of life.
Dude, you know what you should do? I just noticed on our stream, you're tiny. Like, you are literally like a 16th of your pixels of your screen. Yeah, and I've even shifted your screen off to the side to get rid of some of the side space. You got to get like a 4x zoom, because like I can't even see your face.
You're not missing much.
All right.
I do know. Hold on, wait a minute. There we go. Look at that. That's better. But then you don't get. Then this way you don't get the on-air light that broke in transit.
Wear it like a necklace, like that dude with the watch, the giant clock necklace, dude. I don't know. It's
the Beastie Boys kind of thing going on.
I can't remember his name.
What is that exactly around your neck? I've been trying to work it out.
So back when I used to do business opportunity and tell people that they should become affiliates of my programs, which is how I got rich and retired in 2003, this was called the Power to Profit, and it's a big fist-crushing money, which is meant to represent power and wealth. in a very gaudy and obvious way. So I had this drawn as a vector image, and then we had a wax mold made, and then we poured white gold in it, and a bunch of GH color Si2 clarity diamonds. And there's actually diamonds all up in the link too, on the chain, which bothers me because it flips to the side that doesn't have them. So I'm always thinking about one day just getting them installed on the other side too. But I hate diamonds now. They're so stupid. Like, fake diamonds are optically superior.
Yeah, precisely.
So,
Yes,
like,
there's no point in diamonds.
Yeah. Fake ones look
There's
better
no-
than real ones, like, no doubt.
Yeah, well, they're easier to cut for a start, so they're easier to mold into whatever jewel you're wearing. Yeah, but I'm not going to get into that because I'm a cheapskate, and I bought my wife a Wesselton engagement ring, not a solid diamond.
I like this camera look better, man. It looks great. I can see your head.
It is a better view. It is a better view.
And the textured background's great too. So what do you think about the staking, man? If you get your Bitcoin HEX, how are you going to stake them? Have you thought about it? Because in my opinion, that's okay. Shill your ref link, easy. Claim first day, easy. Okay. Now what's hard? How do you split up your stake? The most common thing I've heard is 20%, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. 20% of your stack at each of those periods is the most common one I've heard. But I haven't heard many other ones. And I actually don't know how to do my stake. So I'm curious what optimal game theory looks like, because there's a lot of money involved here, right? Like how do you calculate what I guess you can't calculate what optimal gameplay is until you see what the other players are doing, right?
Yeah, and so you're going to have a dashboard so people can see this, right? But obviously that dashboard's going to change mid-stake. So it's kind of, I don't know, if you're the last person to stake, is it kind of like a game of chicken, like the last person to commit to the stake?
Well, no, the people that get in last missed those payment rounds. So when they end their stake, they're just not going to loop through those days. And
can you not just stake the entire amount? Have I missed a part of this?
Sure. Yeah, you can stake your whole stack for a time frame if you want. So the metrics that I know about, here's the only two metrics I know about. One, massive, insanely gigantic rewards for the first 50 weeks, because you're getting all the unclaimed coins, you're getting the critical mass bonus, the virality bonus. Those amplify the earlier rewards. The more people claim, the faster they claim. So if you claim more coins earlier, if more people get in after you, it amplifies the rewards you get for being earlier, because it multiplies those rounds by a larger number. One point, they each go up 10%. So like in effect, you get like 20% more from all the earlier rounds if more people join. So those are the three things that make people want to get other people in: critical mass, virality, and referral. So if you stake longer, you get 20% more bonus shares. So it's the same thing as having 20% more money, basically, right? So you get 1 share for each BHX, and then if you stake an extra year, you get an extra 20% more shares. If you stake 5 years, you get 100% more shares. So you would definitely want to be in the first 50 weeks, I think. And then you could try and, like, if you're trying to dump, you could try and front run other people's stakes from like, you see, here's the thing about trying to front run other people's stakes, right? Like, oh, look, this whale, his stake is going to expire on June 1st. Okay. So I'm going to let my stake expire June 31st. Well, he can just emergency end stake a day before you whenever he wants anyway. And the penalty would be quite small. So it's not even like you could try and just front run people, because they'd be like, oh, you tried to front run me. All right, well, I'll just pay the end stake fee and get out a little bit early. So
see, you're going to have a lot of people though, aren't you? That just, I think you'll get a good, maybe like 20% of people, 25% of people just going to set and forget, I would have thought.
That's
then
what I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of
game.
people talking about long time frames, like 10-year, 5-year, like I'm just going to stack the whole thing 5 years. Like I've heard.
Well, we're at the bottom near enough, you know. What I reckon, 20 billion, 30 billion, it could go down by more again, give or take.
Near the bottom.
We're pretty fucking close, I would have thought.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think we have
sense.
At most.
I hope we have.
We have like a 50% drop from here at most. My opinion. That would be. I hope that does not occur, but it's possible.
We all do. yeah. I should have sold ages ago. But no, I mean, I've got other things that I stake long term. You know, I park MineX. I put $5,000 into MineX at Christmas last year. That turned into, I more than doubled my stack, but that turned into $300. So I obviously lost like $4,700. But to be stupid to take it out now, so I might as well.
You don't want to
compound it
sell
for
the
another
bottom,
year.
really. You really don't want to sell the bottom if you
No,
don't have to.
yeah, precisely. So given that Bitcoin Hex is going to be technically free, if it's free, I'm just going to set and forget. If I buy it, I might play around a little bit more, but I can't see many people doing that. Well, I don't know. You're going to get all those people that are trying to extrapolate a little bit extra out of it and try and outsmart the system, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you do it for 5 years, you get double your stack. And that,
if I did it for 5 years, I would lose the fucking key. I'd be like, what browser was that on? Computer was that
well,
on?
I mean, they're seed words, right? So it's just you just save the words. I can't remember how many words is in it, like 20 or
24.
16. I can't remember how many words are in the seed.
24. Funnily enough, I had to. I've got a pad on my desk, and I had to rip the pad off because I've got 24 words written down. No, that's not all 24. I was thinking, what the fuck of it? I get it. I was backing up my ledger.
Dude, you shouldn't write that shit on a pad,
just
man.
safely
Have you
store
seen the
numbers.
private investigator movies where they take a pencil and go under the pad and see what you wrote?
I didn't think of that. I actually have a pencil. But no, I have 3 kids, so he's saving like fucking seeds in my house. They've already lost one.
Kid, find them.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, they've just taken I securely. How secure is this? I had written down my seed words, folded the piece of paper, put it back in my ledger box next to my bed. So it's the easiest place to fucking rob me. And
I'm going to tell you the right way to do that. You take your seed words and you split them up so that no one that finds it can do anything.
This is what I do now.
You spread them into different safe deposit boxes in different countries.
When your children come in and they take what you've hidden, and it then just gets eaten, it gets put in spaghetti hoops. Man, crypto's a fucking risky. It's not a family man's game.
How do you hide your nudes, bro? Just put your private keys with your nudes. That's what I tell everybody. Like, if you don't want your dick pics on the internet, well, you better be protecting them and encrypting them. So do the same thing with your keys,
Yeah, I mean,
it was good talking to you, bro. Did you check your list? Is there anything else we should hit?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I mean, really.
Oh shit! I got a bunch of stuff. Hey guys, I never introduced myself. I'm Richard Hart. I have 50,000 followers on Twitter. Follow me at Richard Hart Win on Twitter. I've got like 40K on YouTube. Richard Hart on YouTube. YouTube.com/Richard Hart. Got a bunch of Telegram channels. Strape is our general crypto chat. It's about 6,000 members. Bitcoin Hex, 1,400 members now. Bitcoin Hex memes, Bitcoin Hex news. I've got a trading channel. It's got about 2,000 users. T.me/Strape charts. What else? I've got a shill link for BitMEX. You want to spend 10%? You want to get a 10% discount? Doing margin trading on Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Go up to 100x. Use it. The URL is richardhart.win. If you want to trade euro or what's the currency they use in the UK? Pounds?
Pounds.
If you want to trade euro or pounds, you can go to mocoiner.com. It's like no coiner, but with an M. It's going to take you to Binance. And then I got a free book. I've got 2 free books actually. Sci-Vive, which is like every good thing I know that made me successful is in the book, right? How to dress, how to hire, how to fire, how to find love, how to...
All the upsells.
Everything. It's there. And the point is, if I can get you to have a great life, maybe you'll go and spend money on medical research to save your own ass to keep living your great life, right? Because being rich and dying rich means you lost the game. You should die broke. You should spend that money, or else someone else will spend it for you, and they're not going to do as good a job. So that's t.me/sci-vive, like survive through science. And the book is an outline, but that's fine. You just need to do the commands. You don't need the narrative glue in the middle unless you're stupid, which you might be. So one day it'll be an actual book with narrative glue.
Nice.
I think that's it.
Nice.
What about you? You should shill all your stuff.
Yeah, well, I was going to shield your stuff actually. Well, below I've got links that take you to Bitcoin Hex for a start, and also Richard's channel. don't forget to smash up the likes. Just give me likes. I just crave. I crave people to like me on the internet. I've got no friends. Cunts, like me. That's about it, man. That's about it. But
right.
no, what's the straight thing all about? And the strawberry.
Strawberry grape. So I knew about branding, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago when I registered the domain name. Actually, I think I registered this domain name in 2004, 2003. And if you want a pronounceable short domain name that's a .com, you ain't got a lot of options. So Skype was very successful, and Strape is almost the same linguistically. So I thought, well, fuck, that's easy. And then I needed a mnemonic to help people understand it. So it's just like strawberry grape, Strape. But some people remember it as street rape or strappy. So
street rape.
I guess it's not as good as Skypey. But yeah, I mean, the sad thing is, like, I would have used that as the name for the token, but it just doesn't seem like it hooks as hard as it should, you know? I don't know why. Like technically, it measures as though it should do very well as a short, pronounceable brand with a good logo and such, but it didn't really seem to hook. I mean, maybe 6,000 users in the bear market is hooking well, and I'm just not giving it the credit it deserves. I put up a poll on Twitter to see whether people wanted to use trustless interest or hex trust or hex trust or I own satoshizvision.com, which is funny. You know, or Bitcoin Hex, and everyone just voted for Bitcoin Hex.
Did you
So
just buy that, by the way, whilst they were going through the whole fucking fork?
Well, I was just arguing with Roger Ver all the time and arguing with Bitcoin cashers all the time, and they just kept quoting it like a fucking mantra, like some type of religious text. I'm like, all right, well, now I own your religioustext.com, motherfuckers. So promote my bags.
So
I don't think Satoshi's a great guy. I'm out here fighting to make sure that his bags hold value, fighting off fakes and fighting off attackers from outside and in, and he's not helping me out. So he's either a bitch or dead. Either way, I'm going to give his coins to people that deserve them better.
Sounds like a plan. Dude, been an absolute fucking pleasure, by the way, speaking to you. What's next then? What's the timeline looking like? So you said over about 40.
So it's probably, so I kept Bitcoin Hex in 4 weeks as my Twitter handle, even though it's going to be that for 2 extra weeks. So we're going to be holding at 4 weeks for 2 weeks because we added that 3 address support, which, as I said, isn't really going to take the 2 weeks, but, well, I mean, fuck, it may actually take the 2 weeks. I hope it doesn't take 2 weeks. We've got other delays anyway, so software's hard. You know, it's like we're trying to hit these targets, and you know the devs can only stay up 16 hours a day, and that's not healthy. So
at the end on launch, what exactly are people expecting on launch then? So they're expecting the claiming feature or the claiming.
So here's what will happen. I'll give you the time frame. Right now we're still playing logic and testing games. Once we pass all our own internal audits and time warping and sanity checking and graphing future states of the system. So for instance, I may have to put a cap on that 20% extra per year interest because a small group of users staking for 50 years could hurt everyone's gains in early system states because they would reduce everyone else's payouts, right? So I have to be aware of some edge cases that could exist in the game theory. And I can only accurately do that with modeling, and I can only do accurate modeling when the contract is done and locked, right? Or close to locked. So once that stuff's done, we can lock the code, push it to GitHub so everyone can read it and, you know, suggest anything they think they'd like to see changed. And then we send it off to the auditors. And then the auditors hopefully finish their work in 3 weeks. I can't verify that they will be available to do this work. I can't verify how long it will take for them to do the work, right? So there's some things that are outside my control, so I have to guesstimate how long some of these things are going to take, right? Once we come out of audit, maybe there's work that has to be done that's time consuming. I hope not. I don't think there will be, but it's a possibility. Or maybe we get it out and it's totally clean. No errors found. Well done. Good job, guys. And then if that's the case, if we come out of audit and there's nothing to change at all, then we can set a snapshot date. And that snapshot date would be at least 2 weeks in the future, right? So let's say it takes us 2 or 3 weeks to do our internal testing, 2 or 3 weeks for the auditors to do their thing. That puts us out 6 weeks. And then 2 weeks for the set the snapshot. Now we're at 8 weeks, right? And we need about a day of processing time to edit the snapshot, to take out the whale penalties, take out the Mt. Gox coins, do all the processing that we need to have the claim tool work. Because we've got to, like, I'm not going to explain it to you, but it's very technical, what we have to do to the blockchain to make it claim againstable, right? So we've got to read out all the scripts and turn those scripts into addresses. And then if people submit claims and their claims hash equals the hash of the script that was in the chain, then they can speak to those funds and blah, blah, blah. So maybe 8 weeks in a day till snap.
Boom. And so, and people can go
While we're
right
in,
now, then check it out
Yeah.
and learn how to do everything. Because
and by the way, while we're in that phase of getting the audit done, we can do all the cool walkthroughs. Like, here's how you claim, here's what the front end looks like, here's what the graphs looks like. Probably have a public test net, so that maybe our public testnet could find if there's any type of bug. At the same time, the auditors are looking for bugs. That would be fine with me. Give people something to practice on anyway, you know? So those, like, public testnet and walkthroughs and demos will all occur while we're at audit. Unless it takes them longer than I thought, and then I've got time to just kind of put them together myself without the help of the devs.
Sweet. It sounds like you've got a fucking shitload to deal with.
I haven't gone outside in a while.
Man, crypto never sleeps, as they say. So,
better than being a
cool.
trader.
Well, I mean, it's certainly. I mean, I got to admit, I do agree with the high supply. I mean, it's one of those things. Can you imagine what crypto is going to be like in 20 years? Can you imagine the fucking supplies then of coins? They'll be like, yeah, I'm going to launch a 50 quadrillion supply token. But
that's the game. I mean, look, I learned that being technically right doesn't mean you're price right, doesn't mean you're market right. You got to learn from what the market's teaching you. So if you look at the top 10, high supply is where it's at. All right, I'm with the high supply game. Let's do it. Bitcoin forks are where it's at. There's 3 Bitcoins in the top 10. All right, there's room for a 4th. Let's do it. You know, like.
Yeah, I always say, don't innovate, replicate. It's why. Otherwise, it's just an uphill struggle, especially on the internet. If someone's doing something and it's working, just fucking copy that.
I agree with you 100%, dude. I agree with you 100%. Copy what is already working for someone else. Reduce their margin and get rich. Then go beat your head and do the 0 to 1 Peter Thiel, like not horizontal but like vertical thing. It's just too hard to try and start there. You'll just fail. It's good talking to you, bro. This was a very good interview, I think. I think we touched a lot of topics I haven't hit in other interviews. I love that.
Sweet, man. Enjoyed it. Well, are you going to be at any conferences this year amongst your
I don't
busy
know.
schedule?
I mean, look, dude, if I have a token that's on exchange, probably going to go to a couple conferences. Probably going to go to all the conferences, but we'll see.
Sweet. Well, I hope to meet up with you later in the year, man, at some point. I'm sure we will.
Sounds
Awesome.
good, yeah. Later, bro.
Right, dude. I'm going to leave it at that and speak to you soon. Take it easy.